a game one time.
Oh,
look at me.
See, we're supposed to be giving this stories about parents behaving badly, and we're giving our bad stories.
I got thrown
is
out
good.
of a game. I was a freshman in high school.
As a player,
I got thrown out of a game.
What were you doing? Reading a book on the bench?
Yeah, shut up, you. No, listen. When I was a freshman, I actually played, and then everybody got bigger than me, and I was. I was a center, believe it or not, in high school football. Yeah, all 5'5" of me. And
you got low.
We were. I think we were at St. Joe's. That was where Giuliani's kid went to school. Okay. I think we were up there, and it was just a bad game. And the refs said it was a bad call where somebody scored a touchdown. And I looked at the quarterback and I said, "How much do you think the refs getting paid for this game?" And he heard me. And he threw the flag, and he goes, "You're out." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
See, I don't even think they would throw a flag for that today. You know what I mean?
I was just like, I can't remember. I was like, going, "Oh,
he's
shit,
probably getting paid like $5.
I'm going to get in trouble." And I walked off the field because me, I never wanted to get in trouble. So I'm like, "Oh my god!" And the coach is looking at me like, "The hell just happened?" I'm like, "I don't know." The referee came over, and I just slunk over to the bench.
Way to go, Beef! And if anyone's wondering, because whenever I listen to a show, someone will say something, and then a question will pop up, then you'll wonder about it. If you're wondering why my dog's named Reagan, do you know why?
I know why.
Why? You don't know. There's no way you know.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah. I did tell you.
Did he have a dog like that?
Yeah. So Ronald Reagan had a Bouvier de Flanders in the White House.
Yeah.
And he was too big for them to handle in the White House. So they sent him to the ranch.
Oh, the ranch, yeah.
In California to live his life. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to name him Reagan.
Did he bite anybody?
No.
No, that's Biden's dogs. Nope. They bite people.
Let's not get political.
I'm not getting political. The dog bit somebody. What do you want from me?
A lot of people, Secret Service agents. All right, let's go. So, violence in sports, parents behaving badly. We gave you examples of me. Brian gave you some examples of him. Told you about how many referees, how many people are giving up on it. One of the cases that just recently happened. This is a 2022 case in Atlanta. It was a basketball game, 8th grade. AAU basketball game. 8th grade.
AAU is competitive, right?
I mean, the irony is the game is happening at a church. A gym in a church, right? And at the end of the game,
not the end of the day, the end of the game.
End of the game. That's right. They didn't like the calls that the referee was making, and basically the coach and a bunch of players. Mm-hmm. Charged this referee, and you can Google this.
The video.
There's a video on it. He got 25 stitches, 2 staples. The coach was charged with misdemeanor. In Florida, we call it battery. In Georgia, it may be assault.
Yeah, but that should have been. I mean, finish the story. I'll say my 2 cents on this.
So, I believe that the coach is actually from Alabama. They were in Atlanta playing.
Yeah, there's a tournament, right?
So there's a warrant for them. None of the players got charged. Here's the thing. So I did assault and battery for a few years. You did assault and battery. Mm-hmm. If you hit someone where it would normally be a misdemeanor, okay, but you cause stitches, that's permanent disfigurement. Yes. That's a felony. That's what aggravated battery. So they could clearly enhance those charges in Georgia. There's no doubt about it. I don't think he's been arrested because, listen, it might not even be, I didn't look this up, but I would have to get into weeds. It might not even be extraditable if he's in Alabama, if it's misdemeanor battery. It may not be.
It might not be.
So what that means, people are like, what the hell is he talking about? There's a lot of charges that you get charged in a state and another state where you reside or where you're at. They're not going to arrest you because the state where you did the crime doesn't want you back.
They're not going to bring you back.
Non-extraditable. They're not going to bring you back for a misdemeanor. Now, if it was a felony, it's clearly extraditable.
Sure. I mean, you hear the word extradite. A lot of times you think about countries, one country to another. But each state does the extraditions too. But yeah, I agree with you. And then watching the video, somebody comes up and kicks the guy he's on the ground being actively hit by like 2 or 3, 4 people, I think. Somebody comes up and kicks him right in the face. I mean, you could almost make a case for attempted murder there if you wanted to.
I had a case 2 or 3 years ago. It was on the news here. It was all over. And, bunch of kids jumped another kid.
Yep.
But, I mean, I'm talking about there was 30, 40 kids, right? And certain kids ran.
On one kid?
Yeah, well, they ransacked his house. They went in the house. So it was a cluster, you know what. So I had to, And of course, what did I have? I had a bunch of different cell phone video, right?
Sure.
So I had to try to break down of which kids actually entered the house, because if they entered the house, it was burglary. They were going to get charged with felony burglary.
Wait, did he get beat up inside?
They chased him through the house. He jumped out a window.
You see, because that's like a punishable by life.
He jumped out of the window, but they mainly hit him outside.
Okay.
And then I basically tried to piece together like who actually struck him and who didn't.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we ultimately charged a bunch of kids, and it was just a mess. And that's kind of what this reminded me of, because you can clearly, as a detective, go through that video and say, okay, let me stop it. Okay, this kid was wearing red, whatever. You should be able to identify him.
Yeah.
Okay. But they chose not to charge any of the kids. My issue with not charging a kid is, and yes,
you're talking about back to the
case in Atlanta.
Right.
Yes. I believe the coach spurred them on. The coach and that's another reason why the coach needs to be charged with a felony, not just for the damages on him. It's contributing to the delinquency of a minor. If it can be proven that you told the kids, let's get this guy. You know what I mean?
It seemed coordinated almost.
So yeah, a lot of issues there, and that's a fresh case. So you can follow that one and see what happens with it.
I mean, you lost a game.
I know
you lost a game. Are you for real? This is what you're going to go with? I mean, what?
And I understand, as I just documented, like emotions run high, even for AAU, even for club. But man, you have to, as a coach or a parent, right? And a lot of times the coaches are parents.
Sure.
You need to just take that deep breath and understand this is wrong. And if you really think the referee was bad, just take a deep breath. And there's you can do things after the fact. There's avenues, exactly, that you can do. But violence is never the answer. I think we all agree on that.
It's a game. And we said it last week with the suicides. We said it again. It's like, learn how to lose graciously, learn how to take defeat, understand that it's not the end of the world. Okay, you lost a game, coach. Coach, you lost a game. This is the first game you ever lost?
Yeah.
I mean, this is how you react? Yeah. Why?
Yep.
I mean, what for what? I mean, and what are you getting out of that?
Well, and then again,
now you lost your mind, right? You lost your head. You have a hot temper, whatever it is. Well, I'm not perfect. I've acted out of anger too. But, I mean, man, oh, man.
But, losing your temper and losing your anger as a coach means, okay, I'm going to get a technical foul. Yeah. Or I'm going to maybe
throw a chair. Go Bobby Knight
maybe
here.
Get two and get ejected.
Yeah.
Which is, you shouldn't do it. But, that's within the construct of the game. By chasing a referee with all your players, I mean, what are you teaching them?
I know.
Right? What are you teaching them? And the fact that everyone apparently is going to get away with it, and the coach is charged, so we'll see ultimately what happens. It's just, if you don't, I mean, we can say the analogy all day long, right? If your 3-year-old is doing something you don't want them to do, and you don't punish them, right? Mm-hmm. They're just going to keep doing it. Okay?
Yeah.
And
there's got to be repercussions.
It's got to be repercussions. So that's that one. I'll go a couple more before Brian jumps in here.
Go ahead.
A couple football ones I found. And again, it's kind of disturbing how many there is. And these ones involve players. And so this is high school now. Yeah. So I found one in Ohio in 2019 where a player basically got flagged and did not like it. And he was wearing his helmet, full gear. Headbutts the referee. I think it was the umpire.
I didn't see the video on this one. Right?
Headbutts him.
Okay.
Headbutts him, and he was ultimately charged with felony assault. So here's a player, high school player, charged with a felony in Ohio. He 6 months probation, and I'm getting a $500 fine. But that's a felony. Now, one thing I'm not sure if he was 18 or not. That I'm not sure about, which would make a difference. Sure. Because if you get charged with a felony, and let's say you plea it to 6 months probation as a juvenile, you're gonna eventually get that off your record. But nonetheless, charged with a felony for headbutting a referee, you just can't do it. And then 2020, this one made a lot more national news, where a Texas high school football player, he was given 3 penalties on one play.
Right.
Okay, so he got ejected. Okay, he was on the sideline and just lost his, again, and charged back onto the field and just absolutely drilled the head referee.
I remember that when it happened.
And, and there's actually a lot of articles on that, because he was a senior, he was 18, so he's done in high school. He's since apologized, and there's a lot going on.
I think it was because it was blatant. I mean, he just from the sidelines, just Bobby Boucher'd him. Like, I mean,
and he was charged with assault. In that one, again, you can just put like parents behaving badly, high school sports. You can put players behaving badly, high school sports, and there is, unfortunately, video after video after video. So that was just a couple football ones I found, and this isn't just one or two sports. This is every sport across. Across the boundaries.
It depends. You put referee or umpire, and it changes. Obviously, there's a difference, and you start seeing. I saw hockey, I saw basketball, you saw football, baseball,
doing the prep for this. It was every single sports. Coaches, and I think Brian's got knows, but coaches fighting each other on the same team. I mean,
we saw that one. I mean, we there's so many that we can't obviously talk about them all. But as we're doing our show prep, I said to Rini, I said, we're watching this one video. And it's these coaches, and they're wearing the same colored shirts and stuff. I'm going, they can't be on the same team. And then you look at the notes on the bottom of the YouTube. They were on the same team. And the one coach
choked the other one out.
Puts him in a chokehold. I was like, are you kidding me? He's got the guy, and the guy's flipping him over. I mean, it's like WWE stuff. And you're going, oh, my God, why? Again, why? But it just.
And the biggest thing we can take of all this, one, obviously, no excuse for violence. Again, we get it. We're realists. Like, you're going to lose your temper time to time. You're probably going to get a flag if it's football. You're going to get a technical foul in basketball. Okay, but the lesson that you're showing your kids is just, you can't.
Here's my question. Why has it become more prevalent now than it was back then?
Well, I think, this is just me, okay? Mm-hmm. My little soapbox.
Get on it.
This is for 20-plus years in law enforcement. Yeah. The society, and when I say society, I'm talking about prosecutors and district attorneys, state attorneys, whatever state you're from, they call them something different. It goes back to what I said. If you do not punish people, okay, they don't learn. Other people see it. They don't learn. And it just goes on and on and on. And it just doesn't stop. And so, if you do something, consequences, actions have consequences.
Sure.
But when those consequences don't really make a difference or a dent, then people are just going to keep doing it. Right. And it's like, listen, we're talking about actions in sports. This is about life,
society.
Too. This is everything. This is every crime out there.
Sure. I'll tell you what I think. I think it's more of a societal thing beyond the punishment part of it. I think it starts way before that. You talk about social media. You talk about the validation that people have to get from other people. You know what?
Yep.
That referee didn't go with. That referee didn't listen to me. That referee didn't hear what I said. I need to be validated, and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to act out like a 3-year-old.
Yeah. And the other $1 million word, it just popped in my head: entitlement.
Yeah.
And that goes for, I think, players, and you don't see players really acting out, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. You don't see that. We saw 15-year-olds, 8th graders, 14, 15-year-olds, 13-year-olds maybe, and the one, right?
Yeah.
I think that's about as young as we've seen.
Yeah.
The other ones, the headbutts and the attacking the ref, that was high school. But again, a sense of entitlement. I think the parents really have a sense of entitlement as well. And it's just it's a
younger generation. You look at the parents now, right? Okay, so you're going to be 50 in 2 weeks. I'm 47, and I remember it's crazy. Like, as you work on the job, I'm sure you remember it when you're out there and you look at people's IDs and you see they were born in like 91, 89, 91, 92, and they've got like 13-year-olds or whatever. You're like, holy crap, so this is a younger generation. You start to see that again. You're starting to come into that social media generation.
Well,
that
tell you something else that pops up. And I think it plays into this too. It's a lack of respect for authority.
Oh, yeah.
Whether it's a police officer, whether it's a teacher, whether it's a coach, whether it's an umpire or referee. In these cases, people do not respect authority.
No. How can you can't tell me what to do.
I mean, not only, and some states are doing this. If you touch a referee or an umpire, an official, not only should you be charged with whatever the normal statute is, it should be enhanced.
Enhancement, yeah.
Should be enhanced. Mm-hmm. And some states are starting to do that.
Sure. So, you talk about a couple cases. The one that I picked out, and I'm glad you said it because at the end of this, we're going to talk about the state of Mississippi submitting a bill, trying to get a bill passed about
enhancement. Yeah.
So, but this was a new one. This was from May of this year. Actually, her name, she was an umpire, Christy Moore. She was an umpire for a softball game. I want to say it was a youth softball game, so it wasn't maybe high school. I'm not too sure where it doesn't really say, but she's actually filling in for somebody who was sick. So she's just filling in for another umpire